Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's another fun-filled day. It's Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, where a bunch of pilgrims, a bunch of people 400 years ago came to America, tried to set up a socialist little environment. A bunch of them died. They changed their minds, tried to free enterprise and everybody own their own property. And they succeeded, and now we are the world power of the planet for 350 million people out of 8 billion. So obviously it's worked pretty well, let's put it that way. So that's what our Thanksgiving is all about. They thank the Indians for helping them out, and thank God, and thank this and that and the other thing. And that's where we are in the United States, is we're on the edge of Thanksgiving. Everybody's all pumped up, lots of food. It's like daylight savings time. We recommend that you set your scale that you weigh on every day back about 10 or 15 pounds. Like the way you would set the clock back 10 or 15, for an hour. And that's the whole universe going on there. And
when your house is invaded,
whoa, that volume is too loud. There we go. I'm just tuning into the chat line to see if anybody is stopping in to say hi to Don. There we go. So that is what's going on. Oh, we need to kill that too. Let's see. We have economic indicators coming out, and was it about? We have a lot of economic indicators coming out today because pretty much U.S. markets are closed after today. So no, it's tomorrow they're closed. And Friday, most of the products are closed. I think they trade the stock indices. They'll trade the stocks for a couple hours. It's a very shortened day, and we basically everybody, as they say, the trading desks are kind of empty. No one's really trying to move any capital or anything. So we will do the webinar. We are going to be doing the webinar tomorrow morning, and we'll do the webinar on Friday. Because that's Doc. I pay attention to the planet 24/7. So for me, it's just another day, only a shorter day than usual. All right, let's check out what we have up on the screen. Let's see how the dollar Swiss pairs trade is going. Let's take a look at it through J4X right there. And as you can see, 93.64, still firm. You can see the strength in it, which means they seem to be buying dollars. They don't seem to want to stop buying dollars. And then the bigger question is, who's buying dollars? Obviously, the central banks and the Federal Reserve and people who need dollars and so forth. The U.S. is a powerhouse in many different forms. As much as sometimes people like to pretend like we're some type of some type of virus of some form. But in the end result, we do about 20 some odd, like 25, 26% of the manufacturing on the planet. We grow about 25 or 30% of the food on the world, the commercials crops like soybeans and wheat, corn, and so forth. And we might be low on manufacturing and steel at the moment, but when we need it, we can manufacture it. Chips, I know that we don't produce as many chips as we would like, but we are. I understand yesterday Samsung or something is going to build would you believe, how do you build a $17 billion factory? $17 billion for a factory. But they're going to do it. They're going to do it down in Texas, which is going to be like the world's largest chip manufacturing factory in the world. So that's how people get a little confused. I always like to quote that general from Japan at the beginning of World War II, where when they said, "Aren't you excited? We just bombed Pearl Harbor and we're going to have those Americans on the run." He said, "No, all we did is woke up a sleeping giant." And that's pretty much how you have to look at the United States. It's like an island, and we can pretty much manufacture everything we need. Unfortunately, our politicians have odd ideas about it sometimes, so we're not manufacturing as much energy as we can, but that'll straighten out over time. So anyway, there you go. You can see that the dollar seems to be moving up against the Swiss. You can see it over on Chicago Quant, the same situation right there. little surprised it's getting past the range. When's the last time it got up that high? Let's see, right there. And what is that? That is late September. We got up to 93.68, and right now we're pretty much flirting with those numbers right now. And then the last time we were up at that high of the range, so let's move that over a little bit more. You see we haven't been that high in the range since April or March. I guess it was March of 2021, which is that's like 6 months ago. We got into the 94. See, that was when the inflation thing really started to become very clear that was going to happen. In June it was declared. We assumed that the range was getting shifted, but it seems in the end, as you can see here, they seem to find a way to bounce around that range that we have identified. So now we're at the top end of the range, flirting a little beyond it, and we'll see how long that lasts and see if they roll over and change their direction. In other words, this becomes like a topping out. You can see with Chicago Quant right here, the lines are up high. You can see over here on J4X, same situation. As we squeak it all together, you can see the white line is at the high end of the range. So maybe coming into like a little topping out in here. And you can see we closed into the weekly buy last week, right there. And you can see it's still marching along on the upside there. All right, let's check out the euro. See what the euro is doing. The euro just keeps on finding ways to go to lower ranges. Looks like it may challenge. Okay, you can see here now it's getting ready to challenge this 111.46 area. Right now we're at 112. Is that 12.12? 112.11. We're flirting with the bottom end of that bigger range that we think exists, and we think it's between 108 and 122. We've been watching the 122 to 116 range for a long while, but now it seems like it's busted. And it looks like they're putting pressure on this, on that range, and I guess that's the way it's going to work for a little bit. It seems like we're going to be. So we give it a little spinny thing, and you can see it there. There you go. So there's the 122 area. Seems like we can't support the 116 area anymore. It's become resistance. So we're figuring we Fibonacci that down to. We took the distance from here to there of the range, and just connected it to there, to down at the bottom, which makes it a 108, and that's why we have the Fibonacci line, 108.27, right there. So we're thinking that now you can see it's down to 0.23, so we're not that far away. I guess we've got 4 handles to go if it goes down to that area. But right now you can see on our work it's trying to bounce up. And let's just check it out over on Chicago, was it J4X? Same thing, it'll show the same characteristics because the way we align these public indicators, they have a characteristic of, they're lagging behind Doc's math, but they are definitely a leading indicator when it comes to anything else in the public arena. So we always try to remind you, if you can't tune into Doc, at least tune into J4X. And use the same indicators that we've put together, because it's an insightful way of looking at the market. And you can see it there. It is flirting with the downside of the range, and it has all those cute little red dots. Where's that Nasdaq right there? And you can see all those cute little red dots matching up to the hinkies right there. So that's where we think the euro is going to play. Is it'll play that game of slowly drifting. It probably will bounce off the 112-ish area, probably come back up to the 113.40s or something like that, the yellow line right there. And then maybe what it'll do, you can't see that, let's do it like that way. So right there, and then maybe, come dancing around, maybe bounce around in this area a little bit, and then maybe they'll give it one more charge into the downside to the 108s. All right, from there, we magically move over to the cable, the British pound against the dollar. Right there, trading in the 133s. We think that range is basically the high 33s, low 34. So it seems like we're flirting with the extremes again. You see it right there. I think we have the Fibonacci set up to where we think the bottom of the range is. 132, that's it. So 142 to 132. And it seems like it's already piercing to 23. And we'll see how they treat that. And at the same time, you can see, the weekly itself, right there, trying to, go too extreme. You see the gas 5 super, the blue dashed, trying to lift up. It's still minus, of course, but it's still trying to lift up. Daily, getting its curve right there. Let's just take a look at it. It's not started yet, but it will start soon on the J4X. You will see it doing it there too. And let's see, what else can we say about the cable? We really thought, boy, when it went up to the 50 percentile area, it started acting very firm. We thought, oh, okay, then once it did that, forget about it. That was like that affirmation, confirmation, alleviating the concern that, is there inflation, is there not? Well, guess what? There is. After 6 months of talking about something called transitory, or 7 months of transitory, now they're just saying, well, it's just going to be gone in 6 months. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Be happy. They keep on telling the Biden administration, keeps on saying some of the weirdest stuff. Boy, wouldn't it be great if they were like Republicans instead? Because they would report every stupid thing Biden does. But since he's a Democrat and the media is controlled by the Democrat Party, they make it sound so smart, so good. Inflation's not bad. So you had to pay 50% more for your gasoline this year than you did last year. Or you want a loaf of bread? No problem. Give us an extra $1. Or that steak, you want to eat steak? $12? Nah, $25 now. But that's all right. You can still eat steak. Just put out an extra double the amount of money. And so that's the media actually cheers that stuff on. That's the amazing part. They're like, wow, that's not bad. Only the rich get punished. That's what they keep on saying. Only the rich get punished by the inflation. And we're like, what? How does that work? I mean, we see everybody getting hurt by the inflation. But somehow or another, like, we see people like from the White House, Economic Council and so forth, they say some of the strangest things, like, all the experts tell us that this inflation is mild and has no influence on the budget. Right. That's what the First Amendment, we have all these constitutional rights, and the very first one is the First Amendment that says that you can say anything at any time, and it doesn't have to be true or not. Now, if you do it in a malicious way against someone, you can get sued, and you have to, possibly paying reparation for it. But you're allowed to say it no matter what, and put the money out, and they do. The Democrats, they spend, that one fellow got $250 million because the media and everything lied about what he did. And another fellow was in line for another crazy number like that. And then there's little lawsuits for $20 or $30 million. Hey, as long as they have control, they don't care. They'll find a way to get that money out of the taxpayer. As we take a sip of our tea. So, where do we go from here? There's the cable. You can see it on both of those. And we'll keep an eye on that, but every day. And we've been in that weekly sell since that. I didn't mean to do that. Let me put that back. Don't do that. Right there. We've been in a weekly sell since right there, since that big drop of the inflation numbers. So that was, I think it was, inflation came out to be 6.2. And that was like, what? 6.2? It's transitory. Bonds are trading at 1.5. How can inflation be 6.2? It can't be. Bonds are trading at 1.5. Numbers got to be wrong. That's what they say over and over again. And then people go to the stores or buy something and they find it costs a lot more money, and they go, what? Yeah, crazy. All right. It's like we're a giant playpen. America is like one big giant playpen, and we're just a bunch of kids. All right. Let's jump over to, I saw a horrible headline last night about Aragon saying, I don't care, or some crazy thing. I should go find that headline. It was like, I saw, I think the dollar Turkish lira is up in the 12s or 14s or something like that. There it is. The high last night from it is a little bit lower than yesterday's close, but 13.43 in a dollar Turkish lira pair. And today's high is 13.19. And you can see it's maybe topping out a little bit right there. We've been in that weekly buy now since early September, and from the 8.5, 9 area. I guess it's like 8.5 area, right? Yeah, 8.5. So we've actually seen this beast go up some crazy number, like 13.5 from 18.5. Wow, 13.5, 8.5. That's a lot of do-re-mi. You're talking about a 70% increase in cost. 70%, not 7%. 70, 70. Point, 70.00, 70. Ow. Ow. We've been in a daily buy since the 9.5s. Watch the thing fly. So Doc's math is doing just a fine job. Just finest kind, as they would say up in Maine. Finest kind. And then here is the dollar Turkish lira. See how that looks. And that puppy jumped up into the 14.5. Oh, 15. 15.21 yesterday. Woo, doggy. Let's check her out on J4X. We always like looking at the Euro Turkish lira more on it. Right there. And there she is. There she blows, the great white whale. Wild trading. Too bad the options are non-existent on that product, or I'd be like having lots of fun. Lots and lollipops. And you can see here we've been in the weekly buy again from the beginning of September. The first 2 weeks in it, we got the math screamed and said, "Be long or you be wrong." That's right. Be long or you wrong. And so we don't want to be wrong. So the math said, we were singing that song here. Be long or you will be wrong, and you will lose American dollars or euros or whatever you're trading this product in. And sure enough, voila, voila, she go to the moon. Me likey. Indeed, I feel sorry for the Turkish population, but glad that our math has been a predictor. And you see right there, there's the action. Alrighty, what a quiet day. No one's talking about anything. Middle Age is not in here saying, "Hey, where's the corn today?" Boy, they're taking the grains up. Alright, so now from there we go over to the Canadian. Right there. Canadian's doing the same cute little dance, going up, up, and away. It's in that weekly buy, going the third week right there. At first it gave us a little indigestion. Went into the daily buy there, and it climbed up, and it played a little bit with the line on the 50 percentile, and then, playing with its range. And then someone hit the switch, and baby, they pedaled to the metal. And there she goes. Watch her blow, the great white whale. And there she goes. Check her out over on J4X. Oh, and you can see also the euros turning down, with the J4X, the Dukascopy. And just like we are doing, let me just show you that again real quick here. Just like we're doing in the Euro Turkish lira, our work is doing the same thing. Our line has turned down. See right there. See, we try to keep everybody safe. Keep you in the right trend. All right. So there is the Canadian now. The trend is your friend. And there's the Canada. And she's lifting up a little bit today. She's been in that daily buy for, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days now. In a daily buy. Speaking of which, where's the fact check spreadsheet? Here she comes. So, what do I smell? Let's just double check something here. Hold on, traders, for a second. For some reason, I smell smoke. I don't think it's in the house here, but we'll just double check it for 1 second. have to get a wireless mic so I can walk around the house talking about the markets because I can see it in many different places. No smoke here, but I can smell someone has a fire going. I wonder if they started the fire pit down the hill. That'd be cool. We do have this big giant fire pit. Middle age! I'm just fixing my coffee. I hear you there. I've been up for 3 hours, so I'm just doing my thing. Boy, I'll tell you, all the grains were looking very firm. Soybean meal looked a little weak. Nothing major. Yeah, would you believe? I know. I can't believe they took this thing down into the 17s. What? I mean, they must be so terrified at the Federal Reserve. They just must be so terrified. I don't think I can phrase it any better. They have to be terrified. I heard the bond auctions have been really bad, and but they step up and they're buying. It's the Federal Reserve buying. So it's not good. It's definitely not good. So it's something to really be thought about, the way everything is playing itself out. It is. And we get numbers today. What do we get today? Let me just take a look and see. We got a lot of American data coming in today. We've got in about 37 minutes, we have initial jobless claims. Because today is like our Friday this week. I will be here tomorrow and Friday. I know it's not logical, the smash downs in the value. It's just not. We have continuing job claims from the 13th. We have GDP revision. This is all in the next 36 minutes. We have gross domestic income. Besides gross domestic product, we have durable good orders. We have core capital good orders. This is all in the United States data. I mean, we've got trade in goods effect. This is all in the next 36 minutes. Then personal income, an hour and change away from there, like an hour, almost 2 hours away. And then we have real disposable income, real consuming spending, core inflation. That's the one that everybody's going to be watching at 10 o'clock in 2 hours. That core inflation, and core inflation year over year. That's going to be another one they're going to be watching. And then we got new home sales. This is all in 2 hours. Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. We have a bond auction, I think. 5-year inflation. No, we have a 5-year inflation expectations where they set the bond price. Remember, they have a bond that they trade that's called TIPS, TIPS, and what that does is that is adjusted to inflation. So in other words, you don't get a particular yield, you get like 1.5 or 2% over inflation. So if inflation's 10%, they're going to be paying 12%. So those tips got to be flying. Whereas you buy you buy regular government bonds that are yielding a 1.5%. That's all they pay is 1.5%. But tips were created to defend against inflation. FOMC minutes come out this afternoon when most of the world is asleep at that point, or having their adult beverages. So that is us today. We are busy as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. And so that's what we got going on here. And then, so that's it. So let's see, where did we leave off? Oh yes, Canadian now. So let's check out oil. We'll check out the oils. Now we see Canadians moving up, so we would assume oil's going down, but we've had a nice little pop the last day or two on it. You can see it right there. Oil has made a little jump. We talked about it. We said it in the beginning of the week, it's going to put a base in. They're going to, once they release the the government releases some oil from the reserves, we figured that the thing will lift from there. And sure enough, that's what it's doing now. It's lifting up. All right, and then what else we got going on here? We go over to gold. Let's see what gold looks like. And there's that smasheroo. Smashing pumpkins. We've been in a daily sell since the 1850 area. Our weekly's holding up. I think this is that reverse head and shoulders that we talked about. And we're going to show you on the silver too. Silver's doing that same thing. This could be the next reverse head and shoulders here. And this, that might be the head right there, where the green line is. And it's just a bigger reverse head and shoulders. And but it's back down and playing with the 23s. And you know, you're totally right. You should be fed up. I'm fed up. I said the first thing I said to Robin last night. I was like, I'm sad. That's what I said to him on the phone. He called. I rang. I picked up the phone. I said, I'm sad. He goes, what are you sad about? I said, I'm sad that they keep on crushing the metals market like it means nothing. That's what I'm sad about. I hate the idea that they keep on doing that. Now, thankfully, if you pay attention to the Dukascopy webinars here, you see that we knew that there was going to be weakness right there. And sure enough, what was it? Weakness. And all week long, we've been playing underneath the weekly at the same time. So you could have actually been participating a little bit more aggressively in the silver market than you could in the gold. I'm having some raisins, but it's frustrating. I am so frustrated. It's like a. You ever get frustrated and you eat like cake, or cookies, or candy? Just talking about the idea that makes no sense why precious metals are being sold, besides the fact that Doc's math says they're being sold. I mean, that's pretty much it. After that, you know, it makes no sense to me. I hear you. That's why I was very comfortable with the idea of telling you to take a profit, and and turn them into binaries or something like that on what was left. I mean, I'm glad I don't have cookies in front of me right now, or cake, or chocolate, because I would be eating it. I'm so frustrated that they do this to it. And it's the Federal Reserve. It's not the world markets. It's not the traders. They're not doing it because, go ahead, go try to buy silver right now. They're trading it at $34 at a physical somewhere. They're not trading it at 23, trust me. Maybe you can get it for 29 or 30, possibly somewhere. But it's still trading $7, $8, $9, $10 over the exchange price. So that's frustrating. It really is. To watch it go on, our math catches it. That's the worst part. My math picks it up all the time. And it just is so frustrating to watch it happen. It's manipulation. It's nothing but manipulation. I'm going to have a sip of my tea for my frustration. Excuse me. All right. From there, we're going to jump over to... went down the wrong way. I am so frustrated. I'm so sad. So sad they hurt the metal like that. All right, let's go check out the South African RAND. And and I've said this over and over now for weeks. South African RAND knows that they're doing it. Look at that. That low way back in September. They know it. They know that they're just going to sit on that price. They knew it. I remember saying it the last couple of weeks when it wouldn't go in that weekly sell right there. Oh, you can't see. Here we go. Let me show you. Right there. Yeah. South African RAND, they knew it. Look at it. It's going up, the RAND. They knew that the metals market was going to be treated poorly. They knew it. And I was saying that on this low here, and I was saying it on that low there. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks. The RAND knows. It knows that something's going to happen. And sure enough, what happened in the last 3 days? Let's just go back to it one more time. There it is. No, that's not it. What is that? I have no idea what that is. Alright, there it is. No, that's the wrong one. There it is. Okay. There's what happens. You know, our math tells us, uh-oh, watch out. And sure enough, they do the smackadoodle right there. Look at that. All that smackadoodling. So, they know. There it is. Alright. I'm going to get that. I've got it off my chest. But thank goodness there's no chocolate around here. I'd be killing chocolate too. I'd be like pigging out on something from the frustration. Alright, from there, we go from the South African Rand, we go over to the Russian Ruble. The Russian Federation Ruble. Right there. And there's the Ruble doing the same cute little thing, marching up and away. Sad but true, because I'm always a bull on this product, and it just seems to be, you know, we go into the daily buy there, and they're in the weekly buy, and it's like, winner, winner, everybody gets a chicken dinner. Doc's math is something else. And then, let's go take a look at the yen. I think it's up in the 14s now. Yeah, look at that. Went into the daily buy right there 2 days ago. This is the third day. I know I put a green line on there Monday. Let's save it again. Right there, and you can see the weekly had, you know, went into a weekly sell on Friday, and on Monday it told you, you'll get your head handed to you, and it climbed right back up again. So a little loss there. Can't win every one of them, traders. What we do is we're right 8.5 out of 10 times for decades upon decades upon decades, depending on the product that we look at and back test. You know, we look at something for 3 decades, then we're right 8.5 out of 10 times, 3 decades. If we look at it something that's 9 decades back, it's right 8.5 out of 10 times there also. When we go into Mother Nature, and we go and look at something 36 or 37 million years old, we find ourselves to be even more accurate. We're in the high 90s. We make the Heisenberg uncertainty principle look stupid. That's right. That's right. That's right. We make the Heisenberg uncertainty look stupid. Yes, indeed, right there. All right, there's the yen. Let's jump over to, last but not least, the Mexican peso. And we're still frustrated about the way they smackadoodled the metals complex. It's just horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. You can see a couple days in the daily buy. We've been a couple weeks in the weekly, couple weeks in the daily buy. And going on a second full week in a daily buy. And we are now, we could take this whole oval and move that puppy way over. We want to expand it more than anything else. We want to do that. Let's grab a hold of the box there if we can. There it is. Why won't it expand? Anyway, oh, maybe if I grab it right there. There we go. And then we'll just move it over now. You know, ever since it jumped through the channel there, let's do this to expand it up more like that. Because now we're lifting through the top end of the channel. Now it's not running hot and fast or anything like that, the Mexican peso against the dollar, but it's been pressing its way up. You know, it really has. And you know, it's trapped inside this range, and now it's lifting through the range. We're a little surprised about that, but you can see, you know, the lines are, let's reset this one right there. You can see where it's starting to curve, the white line. So maybe we'll get a little topping out for a couple of days like that. We'll see. Maybe come back down underneath the 21. That would make some sense to me. So you're right. I'm going to start watching the SA RAND more closely. You know, I thought I was wrong about the SA RAND. I remember I was like, you know, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, I kept on saying, oh, look at that. Let's go back and look at it real quick. I kept on thinking, okay, you know, the metals are trying to tell us that, or the RAND is trying to tell us that the metals want to go up. And then all of a sudden it shifted gears on us and started to go down. And it was like, you know, and then I was like, well, we're wrong for the time being. Maybe it's former President Zuma. You know, maybe that's the issue. You know, it could be something political. And then there's the RAND again right there. And then we went down and challenged the low here, and the metals were moving up, and gold was moving up from it, and we watched it. We saw this move here, thinking, okay, they're going to take this thing and take this low out. That was back in the middle of October, but it didn't get into it went underneath for like Monday or Tuesday, and then it bounced right back up, and I was like, that's not good. And I started thinking, maybe the RAND sees something more than just former President Zuma. Maybe they see that the metals complex can't keep on carrying up, and then it tried to dip over again here. And let's see, let's put the where's it at? Right there. And then there's the silver over that same time period, going back to middle of September. Right there. So they banged it down. They banged it down, and we were all upset about that. But it put in that really fabulous head and shoulders, reverse head and shoulders there. And this could be the big head and shoulders right here overall, the big one that takes this thing up into the 27s and 28s. It could, but we need our work to stay in a weekly buy, or at least go back into a weekly buy. We need a daily buy. We need our math to jump. And so when we look at the South African RAND, they knew not to take the metals complex serious, even when silver tried to make that high. I kept on saying to you, I don't like the way the RAND keeps on lifting up, and we're not getting that action right. It should be going down if this is really big. So if we see the RAND start to turn down, and we start to see the metals complex start to turn up, then we know that maybe finally, the shenanigans from the central bank may be put to the side or turned off for a time period or something. Because right now, there is nobody out there selling the metals complex besides the central banks. There can't be. Because the manifestos of the funds wouldn't justify it. There's no way in the world they're allowed to go sell their metals position. They can sell calls against their long. They can sell puts to buy more. But they can't really just try to liquidate their portfolio. I mean, they'd be sued. Because, the inflation component in opening up a hedge fund or a mutual fund or a retirement fund, a money management situation, wouldn't allow it. It just wouldn't allow it. So that's where we are, and that's how we finish this off, I guess, in the end, is we do that. So now we finished off the other 4 currencies. So we've done our 12 currencies that I think we followed. Is it 12? Let's see. Yeah, I think it's 12 currencies we watch overall. I mean, we have a lot more on the fact check spreadsheet, as you can see right there. You can see we got lots and lollipops from 23 all the way to 11 or 12, I think it is. 12 is the Aussie. 12, yeah. So that's I think that's 12 totals. All right, from here, where do we go from here? Let's jump over to, we go back to the metals complex, where I'm sad. Oh, let's look at the energies. So there is Jan oil, and it's pretty much flat today, and we're in a second day of daily buy. The weekly's having its issues trying to get going, but it's still stalled out. That's trading at 78.35. Let's take a look at the June, the spring oil. It should be popping out of the ground soon, like winter wheat. Same situation, only a little bit weaker, trading in the 75s. Today's low was 74.78, and yesterday's low was fascinating, 74.43. And it's wild, is on Friday's low, we're looking at a low of 72.26. Wow. So they're buying that stuff. What else we got going on here? Oh, you can't see that. That's oh darn. Darn. There it is. So that's the June oil. That's the spring oil. They just planted it, I think. And then, and obviously then here is the January oil. That's the front month now. Alrighty. From there we go over to nat gas, which I think is in a day sell. Right there, yeah. Day sell. What's that? 4. This is the 5th. This is the 6th day. And we're in a weekly sell since late October. So from the $6 area, we're down into the high 4s. So that's what's going on there. And you can see that right there. Now let's take a look at the heating oil itself. HO, where they drive the little trucks around and put the heating oil in your house. You see it's popped up right there, pushed into a daily buy yesterday, and it's a little bit firmer today, but the weekly is still on the downside there. All right, I just want to take a quick look at the dollar index. It's kind of floating along here today. Oh, that's not even trading yet. But in the daily buy for a couple of days and a weekly buy. Whew, how long have we been in a weekly buy? That's 26 or something like that. Let's go take a look. 24. 9 weeks in a weekly buy and 2 days in a daily buy. Yeah, they know. They know that they're going to control that currency, that's for sure. Alright, now, what do we do here? We jump over to... Where do we jump over from here? That's the energy complex. We're just going to take a quick look over on the... we'll look at... We saw silver, we saw gold. Let's look at platinum right there. Oh, we'll take a look at copper, too. Now, platinum warned us last week. You know, we saw this, you know, fell into the weekly sell, our daily sell, 5 days back, and it started a curve over there. And today, you can see it's, you know, we've been through. So they've lost their love for all the precious. Precious. Come here, precious. The ring. I need the ring. All right. What else is left? I guess that's about it when it comes to energies and metals. Oh, copper! I wanted to see what copper's doing. I saw some wild numbers on the electric situation. Something. What was it at? Something like 21 billion tons of oil is used. They did it in tonnage to produce the batteries, and the batteries don't have a lifespan greater than 10 years. And so it's basically saying that you can pretend that you're using electricity, but instead it's costing more than electricity because you have to, you know, you're spending 21, not tons, it must be dollars, 21 billion in oil to manufacture batteries. So, yeah. Never have I seen the lack of truth so prevalent. I've seen it bad for the last 4 decades, 5 decades. I've seen it bad, very bad. But now it's at a point where you have to wonder if you've fallen through the looking glass, and you're with Lewis Carroll and Alice in Wonderland. All right, let's see. There it is. There's the copper. And it's looking firm, but it's fighting. Look at that, fighting to get into the weekly buy right there. It's been a daily buy for a couple of days, and the volatility signal was right there. Corn and beans. Thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Oh, no. Thank you. All right, here we go. I'll tell you, the beans, they're firming up nicely. Let's take a look at them on J4X, the suey beans. Sewer beans, right there. Trading at the high 12s now. And let's look at it right here. There's oats. Look at oats. Oats are popping back up again. We went into a daily sell right there. Closed in the daily buy yesterday. It's flirting with a daily sell back up higher, and we're in a weekly buy, so you don't want to take the shorts. You just don't want to be long during them. That's all. And then there's deck corn. Deck corn is making I don't know, 6-month high on something like that, or is it a 2-year high, or what is that? That is 594. Yeah, so it's hasn't taken out the 590s yet. Then let's check out, that's deck corn. Let's check out March corn. There's May corn. We have May corn, we have September corn. Let's see what September corn looks like. Where are you, September corn? There's March corn. March corn is marching up, 592. Showing lots of life there. And let's see, where else is it? Gotta be around here somewhere. There is May corn. Right there. Same thing in the 590s. And let's see what, I think we have September corn. I'll find it. There's March. There it is. There's September corn. Here it is. 60s or 70s? 68. Yeah. So, you're in March? Yeah, geez, it's trading, heading for the $6 area again. Hey, you know, anything dollar denominated, and, you know, if they're going to sell gold and silver and all that, well, then obviously they're going to buy the grains, because people need to eat those things to survive. I'm having my raisins. Alright. And then there's January beans. Trying to lift up in here. Been in a daily buy now. What's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Going on 9 days. You see the same thing over here on J4X. The strength in it right there. And the white line holding up above the dashed line. Let's see what else. Let's look at May corn. We have May in here too. Right. There's May corn. So, Jan corn is trading at 12.73, and May corn is trading the newer crop. Is that the new crop? I guess I don't think that's really the new crop. 12.93. So the cost of carries definitely pushed that up. What a quiet day, huh? Tomorrow, I guess, will be even more quiet. You gonna be around tomorrow, middle age? Doc will be here. I'll make sure the thumbnail. Giannis made sure the thumbnail was thumbnailed today, whereas yesterday we had issues with it. I was yakking away and there was nobody here. So, yep, I see you there going after that. That's a smart. I'll tell you, May, March looks very firm. Looks very, very firm. All right, let's try the last of that tea, or did I finish the tea? No, one more gulp. That's good. Cool. I'll be here. I checked the thumbnail now in the morning. All right, what else should we look at? I guess we can go over to stock indices, see what's up with stock indices, and then we'll call it a day. Right there. So let's take a look at the S&P 500. Right there, there's the S&P 500. And you can see it's down today. A little red kicking out for a second day. You can see the white line pierced. Over on our fact check, I think it's in the second day too. I think the SPY is a couple days ago. Both of them in there. Look at it. NQs, they're in weekly buys and daily sells. This thing's burying itself already. So the Fed will rush in and buy sooner or later, I guess. And then over here, where's it? Right there. So there's the S&P. You see a little pressure there, and this is the third day in a sell now, just like the fact check said. The weekly's breaking down or broken the time manifold right there. Nothing major, but it is showing weakness. Let's see, the best entertainment and education on the markets on YouTube. Me? Say thank you. Howdy. Thank you. You should have seen me when I was young, filling orders on the floor. I didn't do it long, just a couple years. I was more of a market maker, or a local, But when I was filling orders, I would be out there singing and having fun. You're trying to get your orders filled, let people know you're there, So I was always out there singing and yelling and doing all kinds of fun stuff. Instead of being like nasty, be funny. That's my attitude about it all. Be funny, have some fun. No worries, be happy. All right, now let's take a look at it on an intraday basis. So here is the S&P, right there. And as you can see, it is down 15 points right there. Almost 16 points now. And you can see, the little weakness that kicked out here. We're trying to get a little strength. It's trying. Let's put it that way. It looks like it's piercing the zero line there, and it's pierced it here. It's already hitting the time manifold there. And like I said, we've got a lot of numbers that come out in the next 6 minutes, so they're going to get it's going to be like your pants are on fire. Like, whoa, it's going to get hot. I think there's a song we can play on that. Running Through the Fire. That's it. What's that? Eddie and the Cruisers. Running Through the Fire. Doo-doo, doo-doo. I won't play it or they'll end up banning us, so I can't do that. I can only sing it myself. All right, from there, let's take a look at the Nasdaq 100, or better known on J4X as the Tech 100. You can see it there. 6 weeks in a buy and 2 days in a sell. And let's put it on the screen right there below the S&Ps. The Tech 100. That's the NQs. And so again, this is sitting around, and it is down 66 points, as you can see right there. 66 points. And then we'll go take a look at it on a daily basis. All right. There. And it's at a daily sell for a couple days, as we said from the fact check spreadsheet. But the weekly hasn't even banged against the time manifold. So if anything, they'll find a way. The Federal Reserve will just create more cash and buy something more. Why not? They'll sell their gold that they don't own. They'll just short more of it. All right. Next, let's check out the Dow Jones Industrial Average right there. You see, same little pressure going on. Like I said, we got within 4 minutes, it's going to get crazy. And then show it to you over on Chicago. No, first let's do, right. Where's that? It was here. Damn it, I should have done it. Right there, there it is. And there's the Dow Jones. And let's see what it looks like. Right. Oh, we can go longer term, that's right. So there it is on J4X with all that pressure on it. Now, you can see it here on the Chicago Quant, right there. We've been in a daily sell now since like a while ago. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the 11th day. And it's got a little green dot and it's heading down. And it's below the zero line. And the weekly went into a weekly sell last week. So the pressure is on that product. No problem whatsoever. All right, and then let's take a look at it on the short term right there. There it is. You see it's having pressure right here, going sideways because they're going to release so much data that people are going to be like, it's going to be like cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. All right, we're out of here. Doc's been tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I will be here, especially because it's nice and early too. You know, I mean, Thanksgiving doesn't really get going around here until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and I mean, I can start drinking right after the webinar. Everybody goes to football games and drinks alcohol and has a good time. So, and then we go back and eat turkey till our little hearts are content. And then we watch more football. Lots of football. Football here, football there, football everywhere. All right, traders. We will, and middle age, we will catch you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be tomorrow. Happy trails to you, to all our Dukascopy friends. Ta-ta, traders. Yippee-ki-yay.